This is Packard Pokes At with our special 4-year anniversary episode. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another fine edition of Packard Pokes At. I am your immutable and unmutable host, Packard Sonic, and this is episode 238, our anniversary special, our 4-year anniversary special. And tonight we are doing what we like to call in the business a re-recording, because one of us forgot to hit the record button, and I think it was me.
We're pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure it was me.
Yes.
So we don't have the chat tonight, and we don't have the Twitter, unfortunately, but we still have the stories, and that's what you come to listen to, and not just watch me screw up. And if you'd come to the live show, you would have seen a much better version of this, which did not get recorded. So
This is Groundhog Day.
it is Groundhog Day.
Create that perfect date that he does. It's like,
Yeah, but he keeps screwing it up every time. And later on, he's like, he had the almost perfect date, and then he tried pushing it too far, and he kept screwing it up. So
slaps him in the face a bunch of times. And don't slap us in the face, though, please.
yeah, don't slap us in the face, and don't throw us in jail, or drive on the train tracks. But anyway. I can't believe I've been doing this for 4 years, and some of them, on some of the clips here you're going to see, they asked me to do this for 4 more years. I don't know. Am I running for podcast president or something? I don't know.
Well, I'd vote for you.
All right. Yay. There's one.
Yay.
Well, I might vote for me, too. Maybe I'll give myself half vote. No, I'll give a vote.
Party.
Yeah, this is the party, so.
That's how I sell it. I'm like, you want to laugh, you want to get angry, you want to laugh and get angry at the same time and be very confused, and then curl up in a corner and just, drink yourself to oblivion. This is the podcast for you.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is the podcast. If you want to end up drinking yourself to oblivion, just come to the live show. Because what we do is when we have problems, and we have problems, and you drink with every problem, you will not have a liver by the end of the show. So
we have a disclaimer. You have to sign a waiver.
Yes, you do have to
sue us from alcohol poisoning.
Right, exactly.
The fact that we were rebroadcasting this Sans live broadcast is testament to
yes
the podcast.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Alrighty, well, let's, by the way, the person you've been hearing here is Connie, Practical Magic 9 from the far West Coast.
Woohoo! Not a surfer girl. I'm a Puget Sound girl.
Puget Sound girl.
Yeah, the difference of that is like 30 degrees temperature in the salt water.
Ah.
You can jump in there, but you don't want to swim for long.
No, I would imagine not.
No. But it's beautiful.
Yes.
I love my state. It's a beautiful place to live.
Yeah,
so.
it is from what I understand, it's a very pretty state. You guys do get a lot of rain. I mean, I'm surprised you guys don't have more words for the word rain out there.
No, but we don't have words for tornado.
Oh, you I just call it a tornado. Actually, I call it kiss your butt goodbye.
I was going to say, there's the trade-off right there, And normally drought isn't in our, although it does happen occasionally. But anyway.
Right.
But it rains a lot, and that's what we tell everybody, because, you don't want to move here. You just don't want to move here.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, well, we got a good show for you tonight, even though it is a rebroadcast, and let's get on to that right now.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.
That's one of my favorite songs, actually. For the longest time, when I had that song, I had that tagline. I took that tagline and I would go into IRC chat rooms. You have a quit message. You could have it say whatever you wanted, as you're leaving. That was my quit message. It says it was the end of the world as I know it, and I feel fine. But the people who don't want you to feel fine about it is people like Pastor Hagee. And he thinks because the blood moons, which are not really a big thing, is God screaming at the world saying, hey, I'm coming soon. Hey, Peggy. Or Peggy. Hagee. Hey, Hagee.
He got you pegged.
He's got me pegged. He's got Peggy, Hagee, whatever your name is.
Peggy who?
Peggy who? Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, Hagee is such an idiot. I mean, he's not only lifted this material from somebody else, but they had a scientist.
I'm sorry, astronomer and
Yes.
creationist.
Yes, astronomer and creationist.
Hugh Ross.
Thank you.
Yes.
And he basically told Hagee, this is not real big event. I mean, this kind of stuff, it's not unusual. Right, exactly. Just the fact is that we get 2, 3, or sometimes 4 or 5 of these things in a single lunar calendar is not that remarkable. And he said it was mathematically possible that there's going to be things happening down here on Earth at the same time that these things happen. I mean, it's going to happen. And the thing is with the blood moon is that because of the way the position of the moon is in relationship to the Earth and the sun, the light from the sun goes through our atmosphere at just a certain angle, and it causes it to look like it's bloody or a rust color. It's really not that remarkable. It's really kind of cool, actually. But there's nothing attached to it. It's just a lunar cycle. Connie, what do you think?
Oh, a ton. The fact is the Jewish calendar of festivals is set up on a lunar calendar, and so we shouldn't be surprised that a lot of their festivals would fall upon a blood moon or an eclipse or anything else. That's how they're set up, and that's how a lot of religions were set up way back in the day, and how you planted your crops, how you did a lot of things. They were watching the sun and the moon and the stars. And it's interesting to me that this, my eschatology, my end times studies, which I used to be quite into, is very rusty. And I was thinking, well, the blood moon, doesn't that fall under the judgments, like the bowls and the scrolls and all of the other things that you talk about mainly in the book of Revelations? And sure enough, it's actually misplaced for Hagee to be talking about this, and he should really apologize, because this man has this huge end times scroll that he puts up, and has a series of 8 to 10 sermons that he gives about the end times. He knows way better. But then again, Hagee got this blood moon thing from a pastor up in my end of the woods, up in Bonnie Lake, Washington, Pastor Mark Biltz. He actually was the one to quote-unquote discover about the 4 blood moon, the tetrads. The tetrads of the 4 blood moons, which actually technically they kind of happen over the span of 2 years, not a single year.
Right.
And of all of the tetrads that this guy Biltz found, nearly half of them didn't result in anything pretentious or of importance that happened to Israel. And that is the point. They're trying to make this all about the end times, and how this is saying that we are coming upon the end times.
Oh, Christians have been saying this is the end times thing since supposedly Jesus was around.
I was born again by reading Hal Lindsey's book, The Late Great Planet Earth, in the early 70s. So, yes, I mean, the current end times scenario kind of happened around the 1800s, early 1900s. And, they're trying to say, oh, yeah, he's coming soon. You know what? What gets me about this is that they seem to be infighting amongst themselves. And WorldNet Daily, which is actually a very, very, very conservative GOP, Christian-friendly site, they're trying to, blast Hagee for capitalizing on the work of Biltz, and Hagee is not giving Biltz credit for
Right.
all this blood moon discovery, because Bilt actually did the legwork on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, you know what, Bilt, you should just distance yourself from this thing, because the minute that the end of the year comes and Hagee can't milk any more out of this cash cow because
That's
he's got a
basically.
book and a movie,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
he's
basically
gonna
what it
walk
is. It's
away
a
and
it's
distance
it's a way
himself.
of bilking. Exactly. It's a
Exactly.
way of bilking the gullible. And the reason, and one of the there's actually I was kind of cross referencing this. This is from Acts 2:20, and it says the sun will be turned to darkness, and the blue and the blue and the moon
The
will
blue moon?
the blue moon and the moon to blood before the coming of the great glorious day of the Lord. And apparently this is also repeated in Isaiah 13:10, the stars of the heaven and their constellations will not show their light. The rising sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. So, and Joel 30,
in Revelations, it's the sixth seal.
yes, and Joel
Yeah.
2:31, the sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great dreadful day of the Lord. So these are basic observations. I think what happened is that somebody back then was saying, "Oh my gosh, that moon looks really weird and it's all red. Hey, that's great. I'll write that down. That God's coming back during when the moon turns to red blood." Yeah. So, and this has been a scam since the beginning. So.
Well, it has been, and where I went, because again, I'm rusty on my eschatology, was BibleProphecyTalk.com, and the page is run by, a Christian named Chris White. He actually does believe that there's an end time situation, but he took apart the blood moon thing. He helped me remember some of my Bible study, and he had pointed out about how there were only 3 tetrads that were valid, and he was questioning so much about this whole thing. I was just really very enthusiastic that I found a Christian who was being rational and critical of something that was being purported to be about end times prophecy. And I say the same thing about the creationist and astronomer Hugh Ross. When you find somebody who is being rational and skeptical about scripture, you have to think, oh my goodness, this is somebody who, given the right discourse and the friendly discourse with somebody who is skeptical themselves, might be able to be brought out of religion. I was very enthusiastic. I would love to see people, have friendly interaction with Chris White at BibleProphecyTalk.com.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, I like. There's a comment on one of the pages here that from where Hagee apparently he's starting to walk some of this back. It says that Farrah called the response parsing words in a way that would make Bill Clinton proud. So
it's awesome when you have somebody like Joseph Farrah, from WorldNet Daily, attacking quote unquote John Hagee. I'm like, oh well, let's let them tear each other apart. I don't know. This is pretty awesome.
Yes, it is. As long as humans are around, there's gonna be scam artists, and Hagee is no different from any of the other end time prophecy scammers that are out there.
He's just as well fed and just as insulated.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I guess I was letting my thoughts wander all over the avenue of consideration.
You almost collided with established dogma back at those presumptions.
And we have another video from Deconverted Man.
If you had just one minute to be skeptical, what would you do? What would you say? How would you answer the questions? This is the 1 Minute Skeptic. What is an atheist?
Simply put, an atheist is a person that rejects the notion that there is a God or gods. Now, a person speaking as an atheist is making a negative knowledge claim. What this means is that an atheist starts from the position that they have no knowledge to justify the God hypothesis. Because an atheist is making a negative knowledge claim, it is important to say what an atheist is not saying. This is important because fundamentalists are always putting the cart in front of the horse. The thing I hear most often from fundamentalists is that because I am an atheist, I must believe X, Y, and Z about how the universe works. This is false. Atheists do not believe or accept any theory or knowledge claim because of their atheism. On the other hand, an atheist may, and many of us do, accept the most current scientific explanations of how the universe works. So it is the science that justifies the claim of atheism and not the atheism that justifies the science. In conclusion, I have to speak at a personal level that belief is not good enough for me as an atheist. I need evidence, and unless and until I find or am presented with valid evidence, I choose to reject any and all hypotheses.
This has been the 1 Minute Skeptic.
And that's basically what an atheist is. And Connie, what do you think an atheist is?
I agree totally. One of the words I tried to expunge from my vocabulary after I deconverted, and I came to the idea that I just didn't believe that spiritually there was any proof of gods, was the word belief and faith. I realized that there's perfectly acceptable applications for those words.
Oh, absolutely.
I just was like, no, I want to fully understand those words before I use them. And yeah, belief is not enough. Evidence is needed. And so, yeah, I see no evidence and proof of God or gods.
Right. And I had a discussion with someone not that long ago about this, and they thought, well, if you believe in, I don't know, say Bigfoot or UFOs, you can't be an atheist. I'm like, no, you can believe in that stuff. You can believe in the Loch Ness Monster. You can believe in souls and still be an atheist. It's just the only thing that binds atheists together is the one thing is you do not believe in a God, and that's it. So.
Yep. And oftentimes that's what the central belief is something all-powerful and all-knowing.
Right.
And you kind of move outwards from that central point, and so, well, then how does spirituality affect, a soul, and how does rationality affect, well, for Bigfoot, I don't know,
right,
weird unexplainable creatures,
right,
which are actually Bigfoot or things like that. That's actually more rational to my mind than other things.
Yeah. I mean, because we still find and discover new animals all the time. So the fact is that the possibility
or the evidence of past animals.
Right, exactly. The possibility of a Bigfoot being there may be possible. I don't know. But right now, there's no solid evidence for it. I mean, we have a lot of people, that have come out as phonies on that, but I digress. But let's get turned into the Bigfoot show real quick. But
Bigfoot's in the freezer.
Bigfoot's in the freezer.
Duped.
Yeah, you might be duped. Exactly. So, but the thing is, and I agree with you. I expunge certain words from my vocabulary as well because they come with a lot of baggage that believers use. It's like you have faith and stuff, or you have believe stuff. It's like, so I try to avoid using those words. So this way,
they came with the baggage that I carried with them.
Well,
too.
a lot of Christians carry their own baggage.
Specifically because I was just like, I wanted to distance myself from them because I wanted to understand, why I was saying something to somebody. But yes, I'm sorry. It just
No, I agree. It just as I say.
No, either way. I mean, people can be as self-reflective as they want to, but
exactly, they certainly can. So, and speaking of self-reflective, we have a clip. Some people who want to say congratulations to us. So let's take a quick listen to what they have to say.
Got the toast. You've got the power.
fucking hate you.
You've got the power!
Alright, starting off with today's opening toast.
This month's opening toast goes out to Packard Sonic. Congratulations and happy anniversary from Coast to Coast Productions.
Yay!
Oh,
I'll be nice.
Cheers.
Hello again, my friends and enemies. Big Red and I would like to wish Packard Sonic and the gang at Packard Pokes At a happy 4th anniversary. Wow, 4 years. Congratulations. That's a big feat. Big Red and I can only hope that the fuck chartery lasts for 4 years. Right, Big Red? Again, congratulations.
That was Coast to Coast, and thank you from Coast to Coast. And that was also Robin Dupree Reed, and thank you so much for sending me your clips and wishing me a happy 4th year anniversary. And I hope your fucktardy videos last at least as long as this show has. And it's a hell of a lot better, so I'm sure it's going to be around a lot longer.
I need a tissue.
I need a tissue. But we have some words that we need you to listen to, and we'll be back here in just a moment.
Contact us by email at ppappodcast@gmail.com or on Twitter as at Packard Pokes At. Like us on Facebook.com/Packard Pokes At. Call our Google Voice and leave a message at 662-709-PPAP or 662-709-7727, and we will respond to it on the show. Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time, join us live at vonlive.tv/Packard Pokes At. During the show, you can share your thoughts with us by calling 857-216-3200 using PIN number 35368 or on uberconference.com/Packard Pokes At. For links to the stories, visit our show page at packardpokesat.wordpress.com. You can help support the show by purchasing merchandise from cafepress.com/Packard Pokes At or make a donation to the show at patreon.com/Packard Pokes At. If you can't afford any money, why not share the show with your friends and rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spreaker, and on YouTube. For everyone that shares and rates us, you kick ass.
You like crack, I like crack, everybody likes crack. Crack's my name and that's what it is. Hang out the banners, beat the drum. We'll take crack to Washington.
I'd rather take Brack to Washington than Ted Cruz because he is a fucking nut job.
Well, thank you so much, Packard. I appreciate that.
A vote for Brack is a vote for anybody but Ted Cruz.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So when I write on my ballot, I'm gonna write Brack. So from Space Coast to Coast. Anyway, Ted Cruz, he's not even president yet, and he's running for the GOP, and their claim is small government, and small government usually means for them.
For small minds.
Yeah, small government for small minds. Usually small government in their mind means they want to control every little bit of your life. And right now, there is something going on in the Supreme Court that they will be determining and hearing sides on if gay rights should be legalized. And Ted Cruz, as I said, he's running for president. He's not even president yet, but he wants to have the decision of the courts set aside. There is a precedent for Congress to attempt to remove the court's power to hear cases and has been deployed in the past for a number of reactionary social issues without success. Now, that's key here.
In 1981, 22 bills were proposed by lawmakers to remove Supreme Court power to hear cases involving prayer in schools, abortion, school busing, mail-only draft, and statutory rulings of something. It's called judicial stripping.
Mm-hmm. I don't want.
Insert the stripper song.
Yeah, the thing is, some of those people that are on the on that panel, if they're stripping, I don't want to see it. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah,
no.
The Supreme Court's great and all, but as far as stripping, we've got other people for that job. Don't. That's one thing I don't want to see.
Yeah.
Maybe when they were in their prime, maybe, but now, no.
Yeah.
He is over the rails on this, and why? Because he is a fucking bigot, and he is playing to the base of the bigotry. And the fact is that they want to call this, they're calling this basically a nuclear option for potential constitutional crisis in the cause of discrimination.
Yeah.
If the fact is that you're fighting to discriminate against people that cannot help who they are, and because they are born that way, that's like saying, okay, only whites can get married, or only Christians can get married, or only Jews, or insert whatever in there.
No mixing of the races.
No mixing of the races, which is still a thing in. No, that's a perfect example. Like down in Louisiana and Mississippi, there's a lot of people down there. Even though it's legal to get married to a black person, white man with a black woman, white woman with a black man, perfectly legal. But a lot of places down there, they won't do it. And they'll say, well, this isn't right because you're two different races. So the racism and the bigotry, even for sexism, I don't know if this is sexism. I'm not even sure how to classify this. It's sexism, bigotry. I guess I don't know. It's
genderism.
Genderism. There you go. There's a new word. Genderism.
We just coined it. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first on Packard Pokes At.
Genderism.
Connie has coined the new word genderism. That's tonight's word. Make sure you write it everywhere you go. Yay! So.
my legacy.
Yes.
If Cruz had his way, he has openly stated that he wants to strip the entire judiciary of power to hear same-sex couple cases.
Yeah.
The GOP has been crying and whining a lot about how Obama is overstepping his powers as the president. And I hear Cruz and I'm going, oh my God, you're just 10 ways from scary, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, and that's I like the irony of that. There's like President Obama, he's taking advantage of those presidential powers and he's doing all these bad things with them. He's used the presidential option less times in history than any other president, but he's abusing it.
Yeah.
Because he's actively using them against things that they won't act on for whatever reason.
Yeah, no. Oh God. Yeah, and Cruz has openly stated that if the High Court does legalize gay marriage, he would prod Congress to strip the federal courts of jurisdiction over the issue.
Yeah.
If the court tries this, it will be rampant judicial activism. It will be lawlessness. It will be fundamentally illegitimate. And no, I don't know. This clown is. I kind of hope that, he could probably win the presidency.
He has about as much chance of winning the presidency as I have to win the Miss Beauty contest, Miss Wisconsin Beauty contest.
Gonna say that I don't know. Yeah.
Actually, I think I have a better chance of winning Miss Wisconsin than he does becoming president. Shave this beard, I put on a little makeup, I'm all right.
I think we just need to keep playing him reading Green Eggs and Ham.
Yes.
And the irony of how he doesn't even understand the simplicity of that book.
Yeah, exactly.
But then again, it might be lost on the majority of the people, the baby boomers, because I'm at the tail end of the baby boomer thing. It's probably going to be lost on them. When my dinosaurs die out, you probably will all have a really, really great country.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, hopefully these dinosaurs will die out.
I will try to bury them all.
Yeah, exactly. We'll bury as many of these dinosaurs as we can.
Shh, it's our secret.
Yes.
Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus.
And tonight we have Mr. Priestley. He is joining us again. I had to go and get him tonight because, well, he came willingly, but he did insist on a bulletproof carriage, so that cost me some money. So he's not very he's never
Pope.
he thinks he thinks
on
the Pope.
A rope in that thing, didn't he?
Well, yeah, well, he said if there's any rope in the car, he's not getting in. So I'm like, all right. But we have.
What is he get scared about? He's got the white robe.
Yeah, well, he's definitely got a white robe.
Yeah.
We got a letter for Mr. Priestley. And Connie, would you like to read the letter to Mr. Priestley?
All right. Well, dear Mr. Priestley, I'm part of the welcome wagon in my community, and I found out that the new neighbors are gay. Should I welcome them with a plate of cookies or perhaps invite them to church? Inquiring in Indiana.
Dear Mrs. Inquiring, according to the Bible, being gay is a sin, and it clearly says in Leviticus 20:13, if a man lies with a male as with a woman, both of them shall be put to death for their abominable deed. They have forfeited their lives. Furthermore, it also says in Exodus 32:27, and he said to them, thus say the Lord God of Israel, put your sword on your side, each of you, and go to and fro from the gate to the gate through the camp, and each of you kill his brother and his companion and his neighbor. So according to these passages, God commands you to kill your gay neighbors. Okay, Mr. Priestley, I think you seriously are...
Well, that escalated quickly.
Yes, it did. We went from cookies to kill your neighbors.
Talk about urban renewal.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, God. Evidently, Mr. Priestley knows somebody within the house selling community.
Yeah, he definitely he needs. I think Mr. Priestley needs help. I'm just saying.
I think he needs medication.
Yes.
Okay, then.
Well, Mr. Priestley, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to walk home. I'm not affording the ride home for you tonight, especially after that. Wow.
Although he is helping our cause.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
One letter at a time.
One letter at a time, exactly. Speaking of letters at a time, we have another clip.
Hey, it's Steve Shives from Steve Shives' YouTube channel. And I just want to say congratulations to Packard Pokes At for their 4-year anniversary. To Packard and Joe and Connie and Dana, the whole gang at Packard Pokes At. Congratulations, guys, for 4 great years. It has been my privilege to be a guest on the show twice during those 4 years. It was a great experience both times. So well done for 4 great years, and here's to 4 more. And really, after that, it's probably going to get old.
Packard Pokes At, you've been poking at this for 4 years? That's a hell of a long time to keep it up. Well, as Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and thanks again for having me on the show, by the way, I'm mighty impressed, and I hope you can keep it up for another 4 years. Can you do it? I hope so.
Yeah, and that clip was from Steve Shives and Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist. Thank you, Tom and Steve, for saying congratulations to our 4 years. But I don't, as I said, I don't know if I could do another 4 years. Maybe I can. I don't know.
Are you well medicated?
Well, for this show, I have to be well medicated and liquored up. Unfortunately, I only drink water because alcohol doesn't have that effect on me. So
there's something in the water, Packard.
It's something in the water.
I don't know.
It's the Wisconsin water. Gotta have some. Oh yeah.
I have so loved every one of our interviews. It's been such, I've only been on for 2 years, but like, oh my gosh, we've talked with some really, really, really fabulous and interesting people.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
I'm so glad that they you were sharing videos with us. This is
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yes, it is. Well, if you would like to share a video with us, we're going to be doing this throughout the month because this is the 4-year anniversary. It's not the 4-week anniversary. It's a 4-year anniversary. So
It just feels like
it just feels like it, right? So if you want to send in a video, email it to me, upload it to YouTube, email me the link, set it to unlisted, and you can email me at ppapodcast. That's ppapodcast@gmail.com, and let me know, and I will download it and I will play it on the show next week. I want to thank everybody that came to the show originally, and unfortunately this is just the rebroadcast of the show, unfortunately, because I'm a goof and I forgot to hit record. So, but this is what these little things happen. So, but anyway, we'll see you next week. This has been Packard Pokes At. We just poked at your news.
And that's a wrap.